Sabeeh Ahmed, your date of birth is 1998. This is your second attempt. What happened in your first attempt?
Sir, I flunked the essay.
You belong to Lahore?
Yes, sir.
Which part of Lahore?
Sir, currently I live in NFC Society, but I belong to Old Lahore, the Krishnagar area.
Krishnagar. Have you seen the Gurdwara in Lahore?
Yes, sir.
Where it is situated?
Sir, it is situated right next to Ranjit Singh Samadhi.
थोड़ा सा करीब आ जाए, आपकी आवाज़ कम आ रही है जी.
Sir, it is situated right next to Ranjit Singh Samadhi beside Lahore Fort.
Okay, where is Moti Mosque?
Sir, Moti Mosque is within the Lahore Fort, if I'm not wrong.
It is within Lahore Fort.
Sir, if I'm
Can
not
you
wrong.
name two heritage sites of Lahore?
Sir, there'd be the Shalimar Gardens and the Lahore Fort combined.
Lahore Fort. Have you ever seen a temple?
Sir, I have seen a temple, but not in Pakistan.
Can't recall.
I have not seen it in Pakistan. I've seen it in India.
Okay, what do you mean by filmmaking?
Sir, I've been an amateur filmmaker for about 5 years now, and I've represented Pakistan at several independent international film festivals around the world. So this is a hobby that I have, which I currently pursue in my free time.
What kind of movie you made?
So they're basically short films related to social issues and how they impact the common people and the common man.
Any other social issue which is important and you prepared them?
For the film.
Yeah.
Sir, the last movie that I made was related to how the black market for kidneys, where people are kidnapped and then their kidneys are taken out. So this is a thing which
People are kidnapped and
their kidneys are removed from their body.
kidneys are removed.
So this was the last film that I made because I had an interview, or rather a conversation with someone when I was traveling in an Uber.
Okay.
So this was a conversation that I had, and I interviewed him, and then I interviewed several other
So you
people.
had an interview with the doctor?
With the Uber driver whose brother has had suffered the same fate.
Okay. Then did you do anything to stop it?
Sir, I made the film. I sent it to international film festivals. We received standing ovations at around 5 film festivals, and we were semi-finalists at 2 of the largest independent short film festivals in US. So it did spark a debate, but that was all I could do at the time.
Now, why you want to join PS?
Sir, there are 2 or 3 main reasons. So firstly, as I said, I've been an amateur filmmaker, but that is a form of indirect impact. So it is a long-term impact and indirect in nature, which takes very much time to unfold or manifest itself. So I've realized that if indirect impact is not coupled with direct impact, which a service like PS allows me to do, it would not be of much help to the common people. So this is the first reason that I want to join PS. And secondly, it is a very personal thing because my family, most of my family is, the paternal side is migrated from Jalandhar in Punjab. So, and around, my grandfather had 6 siblings. So all of them were martyred except my grandfather. So it would be an insult to their legacy and their sacrifice if I try to, I would say, pursue economic interests in Pakistan or abroad. So this is how I want to justify our coming into this country and our experiences. So this is why I want to join PS.
Okay, what do you mean by joint secretary?
So joint secretary, if I'm allowed to guess, it is a person who is in the secretariat position, in the position of a secretary, who has 1 or more portfolios under his ambit, but I'm not sure about it.
Where it is posted?
Sir, I have limited knowledge on that. I will read up on it.
What is difference between ministry and department?
Sir, a ministry, I'm sorry, I do not have an idea about that. I'll read up on it.
Now, one of your favorite areas is Pakistan affair.
Yes, sir.
What did you know about Dudu Mian?
Sir, I cannot recall it at this time. I will read up on it.
Cannot recall. Okay, what do you know about Haji Shariatullah?
Sir, he was a reformer, or he started a reform movement in East Pakistan, which is the current area of Bengal, and he focused on the Faraizi movement, I guess. And the Faraizi movement was related to the rejection of bidat that had sprung into Islam, and encouraged people to follow the true essence of Islam, which would encourage them to actually alleviate their problems and lead towards political and social representation.
Why did it fail?
I'm sorry, sir, could you please repeat it? I could not hear you.
Why Shariat The Farazi movement, why did it fail?
Sir, I have limited knowledge on that. I'll read up on it.
Okay, who was Tutu Mia?
S-
Tutu Me.
Sir, I have read about him in relation to Haji Shariatullah, but I cannot recall. This was one of the reasons that he failed, but I cannot recall at this time. That's why.
Okay, what do you know about Sir Syed Ahmed Khan?
So he was one of the most renowned political reformers of the Indian subcontinent, and his efforts related to the educational uplift of Muslims, and which in turn related to their political uplift. And it can be said that he was the founding father of the ideology of Pakistan.
When Sir Syed Ahmed Khan was born,
Sir, I am not able to recall the exact year, but I'll read up on it.
what were his contributions?
So there were educational contributions. He established the Aligarh University, the Aligarh College, which eventually became the Aligarh University. He established a Farsi madrasa. He established the Victoria School at Ghazipur, and he tried to reason with the British as to how Muslims were not responsible for the revolt of 1857. So this was how he managed to convince the British that Muslims were not entirely the ones to blame, and he gave a direction, or rather a set of reforms for the Muslims to follow, which was his Trinity policy, which would, he believed, lead to political and educational uplift of Muslims in the subcontinent. So these were his contributions.
Can you name various pamphlets which he published?
Sir, if I'm able to recall correctly, there were the Tehzeeb-ul Akhlaq, and there was the Scientific Society, which published the scientific journals, and I'm unable to recall anymore. Also, there were the essays on the causes of Indian revolt.
What was the specific feature of the scientific society?
So the scientific society aimed to encourage research in a subcontinent, and also it primarily worked towards the translation of various scientific and mathematical journals and mathematical publications into Urdu, the local language, so that it would become accessible.
How would you differentiate between the journalistic capabilities of Sir Syed Ahmed Khan with Johor Bradran?
Sir, I'm unable to answer that at this moment. I will read up on it.
No idea.
No, sir.
Okay. Johor Bradran also published a newspaper. Did you know it?
No, sir, I have not.
What do you know about Zimidar period newspaper?
Sir, I have no idea about that. I'll read up on it more.
Okay, when Dawn was published,
Sir, I have no idea about that. I'll read up on it.
who was the pioneer of Dawn?
Sir, I'm unable to recall it at this time.
Unable to recall. Okay, have you heard of Joseph Wathen?
No, sir, I have not.
Not heard of it. He wrote a very, very famous article known as the Over a Cup of Tea for a number of years, and it was very popular.
Sir, I have not read it. I'll definitely go and have a look.
Okay, who was the first editor-in-chief of Dawn?
Sir, I have no idea about that. I'll read up on it.
Where Panipat war was fought?
Sir, there were 3 battles of Panipat. So, the first one was fought in 1526. The second one was fought in, I cannot recall the exact date or the exact year. And the third one was fought in, if I'm not wrong, 1761, but I may be wrong.
So, where Panipat is situated?
Sir, I believe it is situated in the Deccan Peninsula, but I might be wrong about that. It is only a guess.
Okay. When East India Company invaded India, which part of the area, right, he first conquered?
The East India Company, sir, I believe the first area that they conquered was Bengal. The first area that they conquered was Bengal.
Do you think China is also an East India Company? It is carrying out CPAC. So do you think it is also behaving like an East India Company?
So there is a lot of academic debate going on around the fact that China may be a modernized form of capitalistic or mercantilist East India Company. But there is one stark difference between the two, that East India Company actually came in the start to trade. It had mercantilist tendencies, but over time it actually started to directly influence the politics in the fact that they took over the politics. China, although it does influence the politics in a sort of indirect manner, but it has no imperialist ambitions. So I don't think it is the East India Company as such, but it does have a very concentrated form of economic imperialism, which might be difficult to
Then
tackle.
why it is criticized for being a new East India Company?
So, in my personal opinion, it is criticized because it is challenging the US's dominance. Because if we see it in this angle or in this perspective that China is a new East India Company, we can also say that IMF and World Bank are new forms of East India companies. So this is only because it is challenging their dominance that it is being
How
labeled.
China is going to boost Pakistan's agriculture?
Sir, I believe that they're trying to introduce new forms of hybrid seeds and new forms of irrigation for Pakistan, but and new forms of fertilizer for Pakistan. But my knowledge to that is limited as of now.
What do you know about special economic zones?
Sir, they're defined areas of defined geographic areas along the route of the CPEC, which are placed over there or being built over there to harbor industries, local industries over there, with the idea that the transport infrastructure would be very easy to access because of the CPEC route. This is the
How
idea of
many
this.
SCCs are being under production?
Sir, I have no idea about that. I'll read up on it.
Okay, four of them they are being built on priorities. Can you name them?
No, sir, I cannot.
What is China's role in science and technology?
Globally, China has
Regarding CPEC?
sir, my knowledge to that is limited. I'll read upon it.
What are the allegations on China?
So the outright allegations are firstly that it is, again, as you mentioned, it is owing to a form of economic imperialism or economic. It is trapping its partner countries into a debt cycle, which they would not be able to escape. And secondly, there are human rights violations or allegations against China because of its treatment of the Uyghur
But
Muslims.
China's human rights violation have nothing to do with CPEC.
Yeah, I thought you were asking overall the allegations against China.
I am asking with regard to CPEC.
Oh, so the first and foremost allegation of China, there are two main allegations. First is that it is investing most of this money in the form of loans, whether they are soft in nature or not, and this would in turn lead Pakistan into a further debt cycle, which it is already embroiled in. And secondly, CPEC is criticized and China is criticized for CPEC because it is giving subsidies or special treatment to Pakistan in areas or industries where Pakistan does not have a comparative advantage, which would not be conducive to Pakistan's economic growth. And all the areas where Pakistan does have economic or a comparative advantage, China does not give us subsidies or special treatment on that.
Then why there is criticism on China that it is a form of new colonization?
Sir, it is because if Pakistan, in the context of Pakistan, if we are economically indebted to China, we would be bound to follow its political prerogative as well. We do not have the independence, or rather the true independence, to follow our own political interests. So, in this sense, our foreign policy cannot rely entirely on geoeconomics. It will be a merger of geoeconomics and geopolitics, where we will have to pursue China's interest because we are economically indebted to it. So this is why it is.
What is string of pearls?
Sir, it is an idea of a string of islands which is being created by China in the South China Sea, so that its dominance
South China Sea?
The string of pearls in the Arabian Ocean, in the Indian Ocean, I'm sorry, in the Indian Ocean. And it is there basically to maximize its information and broadcast capabilities over there, and to keep a check on its sea operations over there, and to contain India as well.
What is the purpose?
The purpose of string of pearls. So the purpose of the string of pearls is that most of the trade of China passes through the region. So the main purpose of the string of pearls is to monitor all those areas so that its trade does not get disrupted by any factor whatsoever.
What do you know about Senkaku Island?
Sir, I have read about it, but I'm unable to recall at this moment.
Recall it. Okay, name some of the choking points in the oceans.
Sir, if I'm able to guess, if I'm allowed to guess, there would be the space between the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, but I'm not sure about that.
Okay, do you think Pakistan would be trapped in debt while dealing with China?
Sir, definitely we would be trapped in a debt. We already are. But as the theory goes, we have no other option as of now because we are already indebted to the Western powers through IMF. So it is, we have no way out except to deal with China.
Okay, let's move on to other area. Can you name the president of South Korea?
No, sir, I cannot at this time.
Can you name the president of North Korea?
Sir, it would be, its leader would be Kim Jong Un.
Hmm?
Its leader would be Kim Jong Un.
Okay, what is extended deterrence?
Sir, I do not believe that I know the term exactly.
What is recess deterrence?
Sir, again, I do not know. I'll read up on it.
Okay, what is direct deterrence?
Sir, again, it would only be a guess, so I'll not do
Okay, do
it.
you know something about smiling Buddha?
It was the nuclear blast done by India where it declared its nuclear capabilities in 1974.
1974.
74.
And what was Shakti operation?
Sir, I have no idea about that. I'll read up on it.
Okay, now tell me one thing. Nuclear weapons,
Yes.
are they bane or boon?
Sir, I believe they have elements of both. They are a bane and they are a boon in both sense because in one sense they do give us some sort of give the holder some sort of deterrent capabilities where its survival is ensured because of its nuclear capabilities, and it can also be used for research and energy purposes. But on the other hand, it does plunge the region into nuclear arms race, and it also poses extra supervision on the states where it cannot engage as effectively in clandestine operations because of the extra supervision they're in. So it is both.
Do you think Abdul Qadir Khan was involved in nuclear proliferation?
Sir, I believe that it is the state narrative that he was involved, and it is written in several books that his operation and his network was discovered both by the CIA and by the Pakistani intelligence as well. So I would like to believe that he was involved in some sort of proliferation.
Then why he was not punished?
Sir, if we see it in a social context, Abdul Qadir Khan had placed himself in a position in the media and in the eyes of the common Pakistani man that he was the sole, or rather the primary person involved in the development of the nuclear program. So punishing him would have led to social unrest and the disintegration of the social fabric in Pakistan. So it was not in the public or state's interest to punish him, but he did apologize nationally.
Okay, Khan established a research laboratory in Kahuta.
Yes.
Can you tell me the name and the year when he established?
Sir, it was the Khan Research Labs. Khan Research Labs. But I cannot recall the exact year. If I'm allowed to guess, it would be 1978, but I'm not sure about that.
What was 786 plan?
Sir, I have no idea about that. I'll read up on
No
it.
idea plan. Okay, he came from which country?
Sir, if I'm able to recall it correctly, I believe he came from the Netherlands, but I'm not sure.
Netherlands. In which company he served?
Sir, it was CERN. Sorry, sir. I stand corrected. It was Urenco. I will.
What are the boundaries of Lebanon?
Sir, I'm unable to recall at this time. I need to have.
What do you know about West Bank?
Sir, West Bank is, I forget the name of the river, exact river, but it is located on the western side of the river, and it is a territory which was historically the part of Jordan, but it is now controlled by Israel.
It is controlled by Israel.
Then
what
de facto.
Palestinian Authority is doing over there?
So Palestinian Authority is the de jure government over there, but de facto it is controlled by Israel because of the presence of the military over there. Israeli military is present in the region. That's why it is de facto controlled by the Israeli government. But Palestinian Authority, and which is led by the Palestinian Liberation Organization, forms the government over there.
Okay, tell me one thing, that why PA and Hamas are operating separately?
Sir, in short, the answer would be that PA, which is led by the PLO, has always been a secular movement towards Palestinian independence. So their goal was always the establishment of, or rather the preservation of Palestine as a secular state. It did not have Islamic connotations attached to it. But Hamas, on the other hand, it is fueled by and it gains its popularity through an Islamic connotation. And it focuses on the establishment of an Islamic state which was present before the formation of Israel. So this is why they cannot form together, because their ideologies are different.
Can you name various organizations which are promoted by Iran?
So there would be the Houthi rebels, there would be the Houthi rebels, there would be Hamas, there would be Hezbollah in Lebanon. These are some of the organizations that are supported by Iran.
Hezbollah and
Hamas.
Hamas. What about Islamic Jihad?
Sir, there are also several academic inclinations that Iran supports Islamic Jihad, but I have limited knowledge on that, so I'll...
Limited knowledge.
Yeah.
What relation Hamas or IJ have with Muslim Brotherhood?
Sir, the Muslim Brotherhood is rather old in its establishment or its existence. So as far as I know, both the Islamic Jihad and the Hamas were actually founded or initially supported by members who were part of the Muslim Brotherhood. So that is why they draw their roots from the Muslim Brotherhood. This is the best I know of the situation.
Would you repeat your answer?
Sir, I said that the Muslim Brotherhood traces its roots far before the establishment of the Islamic Jihad and the establishment of Hamas. So most of the earlier members or the starting members, the founding members of Hamas and Islamic Jihad belong to the Muslim Brotherhood. This is the thing that I know, but there may be more.
Why did they separate?
Sir, I have limited knowledge on that. I'll read upon it.
Okay. Can you name the Governor Generals of Pakistan?
Sir, there would be Qaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah, there would be Khwaja Nazimuddin, and there would be Sir Ghulam Muhammad and Major General Iskandar Mirza.
Third one which?
Sir Ghulam Muhammad.
Ghulam Muhammad. Okay. And the next one?
Sir Iskandar Mirza.
Iskandar Mirza. Can you name the Prime Minister in 1950s?
Sir, the first one would be Liaquat Ali Khan. Then came Khwaja Nazimuddin. Then came Muhammad Ali Bogra. Then came Chaudhry Muhammad Ali. And then came Hussain Shahid Sohrawardi. And then came Feroz Khan Noon.
Okay. Which of them visited China?
Sir, if I am able to recall, it would be Khwaja Nazimuddin, but it is only a guess.
Okay. Tell me when Laghari dismissed the governments.
So the first time President Laghari dismissed the government was in 1996, and then it was in 1999. But I think it was only once that he dismissed the government, but I might be wrong. I'll read upon it more.
That means you are ill prepared at the moment.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you tell me the achievements of Asif Ali Zardari?
So the first would be, as president, as the leader of the state at the time, the most prominent achievement would be the promulgation of the 18th Amendment. And there was the Women's Parliamentary Caucus, which established the starting point of women's discourse at the parliamentary level. And these are the only two that I can recall at this time.
What about 5 years completion by Asif Ali Zardari?
So, but
the first president who completed 5 years.
So that is an achievement, but I wasn't sure if this was Zardari's achievement as such. But
what
yes.
About media?
Sir, during the previous regime of General Pervez Musharraf, media was supposed to be very much contained by the state authorities. So he did work towards the freedom of media.
Who gave NFC 7th award?
Sir, I have no idea about that. I'll read up on it.
No idea about
No.
it.
Who presented it? I
Asif
have-
Ali Zardari.
Good, sir.
Okay. Who started Benazir Income Support Program?
Sir, it was Asif Ali Zardari in the government.
Okay. What was Zardari's role in Iran-Pakistan pipeline?
Sir, I have limited knowledge on that. I'll read up on it.
अच्छा, थैंक यू। अच्छा भाई,
Yes, sir.
आपको आइडिया हो गया होगा कि अभी आपके काफ़ी लैप्सेस हैं
जी जी सर।
और आपने देखिए पाकिस्तान अफेयर्स लिख दिया है, लेकिन आपकी इसके बारे में नॉलेज बहुत कम
कम
है। और जिस जरदारी का भी पॉलिटिकल अफेयर्स पाकिस्तान अफेयर्स में ही आता है, जरदारी की क्या डेवलपमेंट
जी
थी,
सर।
क्या उसकी प्रोग्रेस थी। सबीन साहब, एक तो आप थोड़े से फास्ट हो,
सर बोलने में
तहम्मुल नहीं है,
ठीक है।
यू आर टू फास्ट, तो कैन यू मेक इट स्लो
सर यस
एंड यू कैन टॉक इन अ वेरी असर्टिव वे?
यस सर।
Okay, that's one thing. Secondly, you are very serious.
ओके
Okay, थोड़ा सा स्माइलिंग रखिए चेहरे पे, कुछ थोड़ा सा
ठीक है।
उस पे पोटेंशियल रखिए। उसके बाद मेरा ख्याल है आपके 50% से भी ज़्यादा क्वेश्चंस ड्रॉप हुए हैं।
काफ़ी ड्रॉप में है।
जी, आपने कहा पीएस में मैं इसलिए जाना चाहता हूँ कि एक तो फिल्म मेकर मेरा उसमें काम आएगा। कैसे काम आएगा फिल्म मेकिंग उसमें?
नहीं सर, मैंने ये नहीं, शायद वो बोलने में मैं उसको बेहतर फ्रेज कर लूँगा। मैंने ये नहीं बोला था कि फिल्म मेकिंग में काम आएगा। मैंने ये बोला था कि फिल्म मेकिंग इनडायरेक्ट इम्पैक्ट है। तो मुझे ओवर टाइम वो करके रियलाइज़ हुआ है कि उससे जो इम्पैक्ट आएगा वो बहुत स्लो होगा और शायद नज़र नहीं आएगा। तो डायरेक्ट इम्पैक्ट लाना एक ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट चीज़ है। मैंने ये बोला था, शायद मैं उसको बेहतर फ्रेज कर लूँगा।
ओके। उसके बाद पाकिस्तान हिस्ट्री के बाद मैंने तीतू मीर का पीछा,
जी सर।
दूदू मियाँ का पूछा, ये सब बंगाल के फाइटर्स थे।
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल।
और फ्राइजी मूवमेंट भी वहीं पे शुरू
वहीं
हुई थी 1821 में, और वो लैलाबाद का फेल हो गए थे। सर सैयद अहमद ख़ान ने ये बंगाल में शुरू की थी, सॉरी KWFP में शुरू की थी, ये टू रिफॉर्म द इस्लामिक सोसाइटी एंड टू गेट रिड ऑफ द मुस्लिम्स, and he also failed. उसके बाद सर सैयद अहमद ख़ान was born in 1718
सर
1818
18
ओके। उसके बाद जौहर बरदरान और मैंने आपसे सर सैयद का कंपैरिजन पूछा था। देखिए दोनों जर्नलिस्ट थे।
सर वो मुझे अब समझ आया, वो जौहर बोला था आपने, मुझे समझ नहीं आई तो मैंने छोड़ दिया।
अच्छा जी, दोनों जर्नलिस्ट थे
जी जी
और दोनों का अपना अपना एजेंडा था।
जी सर।
जो सर सैयद अहमद ख़ान था, ही वांटेड टू वर्क इन द एरिया ऑफ एजुकेशन
जी सर।
थ्रू पैम्फलेट्स एंड थ्रू जर्नलिस्ट क्वालिटी। उसने जो साइंटिफिक सोसाइटी, तहजीबुल अखलाक, कॉजेज ऑफ रिवोल्ट ऑफ इंडिया, इस तरह के ये उसकी कंट्रीब्यूशन थी। जौहर बरदरान जो थे ना, they were very aggressive. They were against British. They were against Congress. लेकिन सैयद अहमद ख़ान, he was polite with the Muslims and he was also polite with the Congress. और तो इस हवाले से सैयद का जो स्टाइल था राइटिंग का, that was very humble. लेकिन जौहर का बड़े जोशाना और बड़े राइट उस लिहाज से उनकी तकरीरें थी। उसके बाद आपने डॉन 1941 में स्टार्ट हुआ, कायद-ए-आज़म वॉज द पायनियर, और जोसेफ पॉथन एक बड़ा मशहूर राइटर था जिसने कई सालों तक ओवर अ कप ऑफ टी लिखा। ये ओवर अ कप ऑफ टी काफ़ी मशहूर उसका जो आर्टिकल था वो था। उसके बाद स्ट्रिंग ऑफ पर्ल्स पे बात हो गई, और शिनकाकू आइलैंड जो है ना वो जापान और चाइना के दरमियान डिस्प्यूटेड है।
जी सर।
और उसके बाद आपने चोकिंग पॉइंट्स आपको क्यों नहीं आए? आप रिटर्न में तैयार किए होंगे।
सर किए थे, वो बिल्कुल जहन से निकल गया।
स्टेट ऑफ हॉर्मज़,
जी जी।
बाब मंदेब, स्टेट ऑफ मलाका
मलाका।
और स्विस कनाल और
वंडरफुल।
मडगास्कर स्ट्रेट। तो ये इम्पोर्टेंट
जी जी।
चोकिंग पॉइंट्स थे जो कि आपको याद नहीं आए। उसके बाद मैंने ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी पे पूछा। ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनियाँ के बारे में आप बहुत ज़्यादा क्लियरली एश्योरेंस नहीं दे सके। देखिए, ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी जो है ना, उसकी क्या बिलीव्स हैं? उसकी बिलीव नॉन एग्रेशन, डायलॉग, पीसफुल रेजोल्यूशन ऑफ द सॉल्यूशन, इक्वालिटी एंड रिस्पेक्ट फॉर द सॉवरेनिटी। ये उसके फीचर्स हैं जिसकी बेस पे वो किसी मुल्क के ऊपर अभी तक उसने टेक ओवर नहीं किया। अमेरिका का इसके मुकाबले में इंटरवेंशन है, अग्रेशन है, टेक ओवर करना है और मिलिट्री बेसिस को इस्टेब्लिश करना है। तो ये इस लिहाज से
ठीक है।
दोनों में फ़र्क है।
ठीक है।
उसके बाद चाइना की एग्रीकल्चर कंट्रीब्यूशन आप बिल्कुल याद नहीं आई आपको। चाइना की कंट्रीब्यूशन ड्रोन्स हैं, ये नैनो टेक्नोलॉजी है और उसके बाद चाइना के कॉरपोरेट फार्मिंग है। चाइना की यील्ड पर एकड़ पे काम कर रहा है। चाइना जो है वो डिफरेंट वैक्सीन तैयार कर रहा है। चाइना बहुत से जो नए एरियाज़ हैं जिसमें चाइना इसमें कंट्रीब्यूट कर रहा है, वो ये है कि जो एक्यूरेट वाटर टेक्निक्स, हमारे यहाँ पानी बहुत ज़ाया होता
जी।
है, तो वो टेक्नोलॉजी के ज़रिए वो एक्यूरेट वाटर वो उसको करेंगे और ड्रोन के ज़रिए ही वो अपना स्प्रेस करेंगे, वाटर करेंगे और पेस्टिसाइड्स करेंगे ताकि वो उनका डैमेज ना हो और ज़ाया ना हो और ह्यूमन जो हार्म है वो भी उसे इफ़ेक्ट हो। इसके अलावा उसका स्पेशल इकनॉमिक जोन जो है वो 9 बनाए जा रहे हैं
9 है।
और 4 जो है वो प्रायोरिटी पे हैं। उसमें से एक धाबे जी है सिंध, दूसरा अल्लामा इकबाल है पंजाब में, तीसरा बोस्तान है आपका बलूचिस्तान में और चौथा रशा का ही है आपका इसमें KWF में। तो जो कि आपको याद नहीं है। साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी के हवाले से बड़ी डेवलपमेंट है कि एक तो उन्होंने रिसर्च सेंटर इस्टेब्लिश किया है बीजिंग में, एक इन्होंने रिसर्च सेंटर इस्टेब्लिश किया है इस्लामाबाद में और उसके अलावा वो इन एरियाज़ को लेके चल रहे हैं जहाँ जहाँ वो स्कॉलरशिप दे रहे हैं, वो नैनो टेक्नोलॉजी को यूज़ कर रहे हैं, वो ग्रीन टेक्नोलॉजी को यूज़ कर रहे हैं, वो इस तरह की जो कटिंग एज टेक्नोलॉजी है वो उसको यूज़ कर रहे हैं। तो इस तरह से चाइना की काफ़ी कंट्रीब्यूशन है। फार्मर्स जो कॉर्पोरेट फार्मिंग है उस पर चाइना काम कर रहा है। 500 से लेके 55,000 तक एक वो फॉर्म जो है वो चाइना उनको इस्टेब्लिश करेगा। उसके बाद मैंने आपसे चाइना पे जो एलिगेशन हैं, चाइना पे पहली एलिगेशन ये है कि ये आपका एनवायरमेंटल हार्म कर रहा है दरख्त काटने से। दूसरा ये है कि ये डेट ट्रैप डिप्लोमेसी में हम इंगेज कर रहे हैं। तीसरा ये है कि ये इम्पीरियलिज्म, न्यू कॉलोनाइजेशन है, ये ऐसा ऐसा इट विल टेक ओवर पाकिस्तान द वे इट हैज़ टेकन ओवर। किसको टेक ओवर किया है?
सर चाइना ने?
हाँ
सर एग्जैक्टली तो किसी को भी नहीं
अरे
किया चेक।
यार ये हैबिन टोटा और जो कोलंबो की जो सर्कुलर रेंज जो उन्होंने बनाई है, रिंग रोड जो बनाई है, उसको टेक ओवर किया है। मोंटेनीग्रो को उन्होंने उनका ब्रिज जो है टेक ओवर किया है जब वो चाइना के लोन पे बैक नहीं कर सके। तो इस लिहाज से ये ख़तरात उसके पाकिस्तान के हवाले से भी हैं। साउथ कोरिया के प्रेसिडेंट का नाम है यून, नॉर्थ कोरिया का किम जोंग यून। उसके बाद ये डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ डेटरेंसेस है जिनको आपको आइडिया होना चाहिए था कि एक्सटेंडेड का मतलब है बियॉन्ड योर बॉर्डर। ओके, रिसेस मीन्स आप छुप के आप अपने जो डेटरेंस को क्रिएट करे। स्माइलिंग बुद्धा वाज अ 1974 न्यूक्लियर ब्लास्ट ऑफ चाइना ऑफ इंडिया, और फिर शक्ति ऑपरेशन वाज कंडक्टेड इन 1974 व्हेन चाइना डिड द फर्स्ट न्यूक्लियर एक्सपेरिमेंट। चाइना ने 2 न्यूक्लियर एक्सपेरिमेंट किए हैं। और उसके बाद न्यूक्लियर वेपन बेन और बून, इस पे तो आपको बात करनी चाहिए थी यार, ये तो डिबेट थी।
सर मैंने की थी इस पे बात।
यदि आपने कोई ख़ास बात नहीं
अच्छा।
की, कोई उसमें मुझे पॉइंट्स नहीं मिले
ठीक है।
कि जिसकी वजह से कि बेन क्यों है और बून क्यों है और क्या होना चाहिए। अब्दुल कदीर ख़ान 2004 में अरेस्ट किया गया था। उसके बाद ये इन्होंने 786 के नाम से अपनी लेबॉर्ट्री बनाई थी और यूरेनको में ये काम करते थे। स्विमिंगटन अमेंडमेंट जो था वो ये था कि इंडिया अमेरिका विल नॉट ट्रांसफ़र द टेक्नोलॉजी एंड द एड टू द कंट्रीज विच वुड बी परसुइंग न्यूक्लियर वेपन टेक्नोलॉजी। ठीक है। और उसके बाद बैंक का आपने बताया 1956 न्यूक्लियर थ्रेशोल्ड ये होता है कि व्हेन यू आर वेरी रेडी टू रिस्पॉन्ड टू अटैक योर एनिमी, दैट इज न्यूक्लियर रिस्पॉन्स। और उसके बाद गज़ा और लेबनान और हम पैलेस्टीनियन अथॉरिटी की तरह नक्शा देख लीजिएगा, वहाँ पे वॉर हो रही है। उस हवाले से आपको वहाँ का मालूम होना चाहिए कौन कौन से एरिया जो हैं वो वहाँ पे हैं। उसके बाद ईरान के बारे में मैंने आपसे पूछा, उसमें आप ये इस्लामिक जिहाद को भूल गए थे, मुस्लिम ब्रदरहुड का रोल आप भूल गए थे। मुस्लिम ब्रदरहुड वाज नॉन वायलेंट इन कैरेक्टर, जबकि ये जो हिजबुल्लाह थे और हमास थे ये दे अडॉप्टेड वायलेंट टेक्निक्स, देयरफॉर दे गॉट सेपरेटेड। तो आसिफ अली ज़रदारी के ज़रदारी की अचीवमेंट्स मैंने आपको बता दी हैं।